عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وبعد. So continuing the hadith from yesterday, the Prophet ﷺ said, أيها الناس, O people, أفشوا السلام, spread peace and the greetings of peace, وأطعموا الطعام, and feed each other, وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام, and pray at night while people are sleeping, تدخلوا الجنة بسلام, and you'll enter paradise with peace. And this is in At-Tirmidhi. So we talked about the first part, about the greetings, sending the greetings of peace to other people, and the importance of that in large cities where community and family and society is not as naturally important for people. So we need to put extra effort into it. وأطعموا الطعام. The second part is, he says, and then feed others. This doesn't only mean feed people who are in need. So if you look at the first part, spread peace by saying salam alaikum to other people and genuinely caring for them. So what are you doing? You're building a relationship with the person next to you. You're building community. You're having a connection with the other people because you say salam to them. When you feed other people, it means you invite them over, you take them out somewhere, and you feed them. One of the ways in which you connect with people is with your generosity. And one common way of generosity is by feeding people. Even in America, there's a famous saying, so we break bread together. So when you do that, you come together. People need to eat anyways. One of the desires that people have is they like good food. Even the Prophet ﷺ, he liked good food. There's no concept in Islam about being a monk and you have to boycott any type of food that tastes good in order to, maybe temporarily, but not permanently. So this is something beautiful, and what you see is in our culture, things are changing. Again, the same problem is with our culture. Our culture, one of the beautiful things about other cultures outside of America is that there's a lot of generosity. People, when you go to a restaurant, there's usually, mashallah, many of the Muslim countries, someone will always try to pick up the tab. In fact, Muslims end up fighting, sometimes maybe too much, but they end up fighting and who's going to pay? And people have very slick ways of, you go to the bathroom. They go to the bathroom, wash their hands, and they slip credit card to the, person at the cash register. Bill's already been taken care of. This is actually beautiful. If you think about it, especially given the contrast in our society. The contrast in our society, you look at the average younger generation of Americans, bill comes, everyone's looking at each other. Who's going to pay? How are we going to split this? I'll Venmo you, you Venmo me. I didn't bring my money, I didn't bring my wallet this time. Everyone's trying to get out of it, whereas the other culture, everyone's trying to get into it. I'm going to pay, I'm not going to take care of it. It's actually a beautiful part of culture. And so the Prophet ﷺ is talking about, this is something that we should be doing on a regular basis as well. At-Tirmidhi helps build that community. وصلوا بالليل والناس نيام, and pray at night while people are sleeping. We've been talking about Qiyam al-Layl for many, many days now. The importance of this Qiyam, the importance of having this extra prayer. If we're going to add the extra prayer, even if it's a short period of time, like a few minutes before Fajr. The time for Fajr comes in, and yesterday somebody asked me after I talked about it last night, somebody says, can you pray this Qiyam, this Tahajjud prayer, even if it's just like 10 minutes before Fajr time comes in? Fajr time comes in at 5:38. So can you literally wake up at 5:25, make a 3-minute wudu, and just pray for 10 minutes, and that's going to count as Qiyam al-Layl prayer? And the answer is yes. Anytime before Fajr, that will count as your prayer. He said, I thought in my mind I had this thing where you have to wake up in the middle of the night, to wake up at like midnight, get out of bed, and then you have to perform that prayer. In fact, the recommendation was that the best prayer is done in the last third of the night. If you calculate the hours of night, divide by 3, the last third falls in the category. So you build yourself up, and this interesting. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, والناس نيام, while people are sleeping. It also gives us an indication that nighttime is when normal people sleep. Normal people sleep. But what happens is that with our artificial civilization, with our smart devices, which make us a little bit dumb, right? We sit there and we're on the blue screen, blue light emitting devices, and it prevents us from sleeping. Many people, especially college students, they have huge problems at night. They pull all-nighters. Even sometimes people who are, planning for an Islamic activity or something, their sleeping patterns are off completely. And naturally, it's been something, the reason why Qiyam was so great is because people sleep during this time normally. And when you resist that sleep and you wake up earlier, you're going against what you naturally want to do. And that's what makes the benefit of this prayer, this special prayer of Qiyam. So we should try that, especially in the winter months. I mentioned last night as well. It was a retreat one time, and Sheikh Mukhtar Maghrui, he mentioned a great point. He said the Salihin, the people of the past, righteous people of the past, they used to love winter for two reasons. Winter is the best time to fast because it's easier, because the fasting is shorter, and it's easy to start Qiyam if you have a difficult time because the time is later. So if you ever wanted to start adding some extra fast into your routine, if you ever wanted to add Tahajjud or Qiyam al-Layl in your routine, this is the best time to try it, because this is the best season, because it's the easiest for you. And you build yourself up gradually. And then when it comes to summer, it's going to be an excuse. Days are so long, fasting is so hard, the time is so early, it's going to mess up my work schedule. So this is something we should try to incorporate into our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to perform extra fasts and to perform extra prayers and make us among the salihin. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.